Hey guys, so I am sure many of you can relate to this dilemma where right after Christmas you feel the need to get rid of perfectly fine toys that have worked for your kids, but you need to make room for the new toys that they've gotten so that your house isn't totally overtaken by toys. And that's worked for me in years past. I've always been able to find enough things to donate that I can fit the new stuff in, and it doesn't really cause too much of a problem around here. But with a fourth child on its way, and the reality hitting me that their bedrooms are just getting way too full. I'm not a fan of toys in bedrooms in the first place, but I don't really want their toys all over the schoolroom either. So I just decided that it was about time that we make some toy storage. So my idea for toy storage kind of morphed into a mini playroom. We have a small unused space in our house that really worked out perfectly for what we needed. So I thought I would show you guys today what that looks like. So behind me, I'm in the schoolroom right now. We have a utility room that was pretty unused. The frustrating part about it was that it was kind of an awkward size to be just a laundry room, but there was really nothing else we could use it for. It's 11 by 12 feet. So the washer and dryer are in there, and our big air conditioning like unit thing, I don't know what it's called, is in there. So there was really like an awkward space issue in there, but it was still so frustrating because it was just unused space, and I really don't like unused space, especially now as we're really filling up the house. So my husband and I took our daughter to the American Girl store in Orlando, and there is an IKEA in Orlando, so I thought let's just pop into IKEA and see if we find anything storage-wise. And so while we were there, our wheels started turning, and we worked this whole room out to being like a miniature playroom for the kids, which is great because now all they have in their rooms, my daughter keeps her American Girl stuff in her room, our boys keep any stuffed animals in their room. Other than that, every toy they have, every game they have, all that has a place. So anyway, without further ado, let's go take a peek. Okay, so here is the view when you walk into their new playroom. I'm filming this on my iPhone because my other camera is pretty bulky to hold, so I'm sorry if this is a little shaky. But anyway, this is what they see when they first walk in. They have this nice little play area over here. Up here, we have stored just a bunch of stuff that didn't fit into these containers down here. Now this whole system from IKEA, we paid, I think it's $109 right now or something like that, maybe $119. I remember the 9. And then each of these bins here were $4.99, I believe. But they are so much, I'll show you an empty one. They're so much larger than the normal storage bins you would find like at Target. They're huge. So we really liked this. And we just kind of lucked out that it fit right in this corner here. I think it is 58 inches. So up here we have all of the things that don't fit in these bins. And then here is where they have their Lego models, anything that they're in the process of building that they don't want messed up because their 3-year-old little brother cannot reach this section. Over here, if you see, it says boxed sets. This is where they keep things that are unopened or that have to stay in the box. So like this crayon maker needs to stay in there. And then there's a couple of their Christmas presents that are still not opened yet. They haven't gotten a chance to use. Okay, next we have two cubbies of board games, which is great because we didn't really have a great place for board game storage. We were using just the bottom shelves of our bookshelves, but then I just thought it looked really tacky out in our formal living room. So there's that. Next we have Barbies, and this container is actually large enough to hold her entire Barbie house. And then all Barbies, and she's really into this thing called Flipsies. So it holds all of her Flipsies and all of their house accessories and things. There's a couple of their accessories that are kind of large, but so this is the Barbie bin. Here we have dress up, and like I said, these are so much bigger than they're really translating on camera. I don't know if that helps any. See my hand there. So this is the my son's and my daughter's dress-up bin. Basically, honestly, I kind of threw a bunch of stuff out when I was organizing this, but if it doesn't fit in this bin, then we just have too much stuff. And that's kind of like my whole idea behind this. I personally am just like I guess a minimalist. Like, I would prefer my kids to each have one toy they really love, but that's just not how life has worked out for me. So, but I felt like if it doesn't fit in this whole storage system, then we probably don't need to have it. So I did go through their dress-up clothes, but they still have, I mean, there's probably at least 20 costumes in there still, just folded up. This bin is still empty because I figured we'd need some room to grow into some of this stuff as well. And then this is art supplies. I should change that to say craft supplies, and I'll show you why in a few minutes. But all sorts of different art supplies and art sets that they love. They've got their perler beads in there as well. Down there. So all of their crafty things they're super into right now. Down here they have my son, my 3-year-old, super into Duplos. He's got all his Duplos in there. And then this is, the whole reason this room started really was for Legos. So they've got all their Legos down in there, and Lego instructions. This is grocery store. This is where they keep all of their play food. The Learning Resources cash register. This was a hard one to figure out, but this is our Trackmaster. There's some pieces to the Trackmaster up there. But what I did was I just went on the Mattel website. And if you're not familiar with this, if you have instructions that are huge or they rip or you lose them, you can go on the Mattel website. Anything Fisher-Price, anything Barbie, I mean, it's all owned by Mattel. And you can print off the instructions. So what I did was I just printed the PDF and then I just double-sided it and laminated it. So this is the instructions to the Sky High Bridge Jump, and then this is the instruction set to the Race and Railway set for the Thomas Trackmaster. So these just fit right in there, and then these are all the pieces. So that is just a nice way to kind of consolidate what would be normally pretty big. Okay, down here, I just called this box STEM because it's really just all those engineering and building toys that my 5-year-old really loves. So we've got these builders, play sticks, dominoes, mag formers, and the Discovery magnets, and Tinker Toy. This is actually 2 sets of Tinker Toy, but I fit them in one box. Under blocks, we have 2 shoe boxes full of Lincoln Logs, and the, what's it called? Bristle blocks are down in there. These are all things that my 3-year-old would access the most, so I just put them on the bottom level here. Cars and trucks, self-explanatory, and this is the funny bin. This is Little Bits. My husband kind of made fun of me for wanting this, but as we were filling it up, he's like, I'm so glad we have this. This is stuff that doesn't really have a place, or isn't a full set, or it's just a bunch of little, like, I think most parents would refer to it as crap. So they have, except for this is just Peppa Pig house, but we've got Shopkins and little action heroes and little Fisher-Price guys and all that little stuff that just doesn't have a place and would get thrown out, or they have a Happy Meal toy that they just happen to love and need to keep. Things like that are all in the Little Bits bin. So this is kind of like the kids' junk drawer, if you will. So that might just be my favorite bin because there's finally a place to keep it all the stuff that does not fit anywhere else in the house. So this rug down here was also from IKEA. This was, I think, $15. It's one of those really, really thin rugs that, that doesn't really trap any dust or dog hair, and it's got this rubber lining on the bottom. We needed something like this for my son. We have discovered a lot of his sleeping issues come from some severe allergies. I'm not sure if it's really allergies or asthma. We're figuring that out right now. But so we needed, if they were going to have a play space in here, it needed to be a really, really, really thin carpet. It couldn't be anything too plush or thick. So that is fun, and I just thought that it was nice. The colors kind of matched what colors were in this set here. I'll link below all of the names of this system and these storage containers. I can't pronounce them. I don't know how to pronounce them, so I'm just going to go ahead and link them below so you can check that out if you have an IKEA near you. So there's that down there, and then of course we just have some fun stuff on their walls. My husband and I had a fun time picking a couple of things out to just make this exciting and colorful, because I don't think I want to paint this room. I just feel like every time I make a decision to paint something, then I want to change my mind in a few months, and so I'm actually like in the process of picking out paint for the rest of my house, and I'm over paint color, so we just went with posters instead. So then from over here, if you just turn this way, then this is the space that has to function as a laundry room for us. So that, I mean, I don't know what else to say other than this, you know, you can't cover that up. So that's going to be a part of their playroom. Up here is all of my school storage, and I have showed that in a video before. So that is where I store, you know, I'm not going to go through all of it, but each thing is a different section of books and things like that. So that is our school storage area where I store all of our old curriculum or upcoming curriculum. And then over here, this is our little art section, and this is also where the rabbits are. So there were two things I wanted to accomplish with creating this room. One was I wanted them to have an area that was kind of unseen in the main section of our house, because I have a very, very creative, almost 8-year-old who loves to craft and cut and color and paste and glue, and then there's just scraps everywhere. But I'm really trying to stop. I'm just afraid that I'm going to hinder that creative spirit in her if I just keep having her do everything so neat and tidy. So I wanted to have a room where the door could shut and she could leave her mess and it was totally okay. But then I also, my 2 older kids and my 3rd is really getting into this now. They're really into Legos, and with a baby coming, we've never had Legos in the house with a baby, and so I wanted a room where the Legos could stay, and where they could build their Legos and leave their Lego sets set up, and we wouldn't have just a new walker or crawler coming across Lego pieces all the time. Same with Shopkins, really. So this is like a combination Lego art table area for them, but really for the most part they've just been building on the floor. But I will go ahead and show you all the details of this now. So this was also an old IKEA find. I don't know if I think this table was less than $100, to be honest. Years back when we were first married, we got this as our dining room table, but it has become the craft table over the years. As you can see, my son was just building some Legos here, but this, usually at the end of the day when they're all cleaned up, this is just empty for them. I didn't want to put too much on the table so they would just have room to, you know, color spread out here. So they've got this paper dispenser, and that's a new roll. I have some more rolls up here. These some patterned rolls and things like that. So they've got that there. All of their little office-y supplies are over here. I have the markers though, so the markers are with me by request. My mom has discovered Etsy, so these were a gift from her for the kids, and this is where they can hang up some of their stuff. I'm not exactly sure yet what that will be, but I'm thinking maybe their art aprons or something like that. And then up here, because I still have this for hanging laundry to dry, I added these. If you've ever kept these around, these make great drying hooks for art projects. So for example, they can just dry their art up here on these different hangers. And then I really wanted spice racks to hold all of our paint. And so this is the kids' paint, and that is my paint. This is, well, not mine, like I don't paint with it, but when we're doing school projects, that acrylic paint is really just used with my supervision. But these spice racks were less than $10 at Home Depot, and I just think it's great so the kids have access to it. And originally I was gonna just put these in one of those bins over there, like an art supply bin, but I had a situation where the paint, I was storing it in a container in the garage, and it got too hot and they started to expand and explode, and so I was afraid of that happening. Not that it would ever get too hot in here, but I don't know, just bottles of paint kind of all thrown together in a bucket makes me nervous, so I wanted them to be a little more organized. And then down here I just laminated a little Lego face inspiration for the kids just for fun, so that it wasn't all just art over here. There was a little hint of Lego for the boys. And down here we have, this is some construction paper for them in this top drawer. And this bottom drawer is where I've got all their coloring and drawing books, so thank God we finally have a place for all of that. And then around here, this bottom half of this shoe organizer are all just different art supplies. And then up here, this is the reward system that I have from Homeschool on the Hill. I showed this at the beginning of our school year for our schoolroom tour. This is the only school stuff we have in this room, but I just thought it was appropriate to have it in here. I was very careful to not put their chore charts or any of that kind of stuff. As much as I wanted to bring some of our school stuff in here, I didn't, because I really just want this to be a fun, creative space for them, and I don't want it to be too structured. Anyway, guys, I hope that gave you some inspiration. If you have a small space that you are trying to work out to, being a great toy storage area or office space or anything along those lines, the whole room cost about $200 total because we pulled some pieces that we had just sitting around. So, like I said, I will link the IKEA furniture below if it's something that you're interested in. And yeah, so I'm just excited to have a place. I've never had a baby and older kids at the same time. So with that comes new, the blessings of having a little bit of help and a little more independent kids, but it also comes with the curse of Legos and Shopkins that we might not have had when we had our babies in the past. So I'm just really thankful that they have a space they can spread out and they can play in. And it's really gonna help me because I am a big type A personality type of person, and I'm constantly running around going, clean this, clean that, clean this, clean that. I want clean surfaces, I want clean floors, and so that doesn't leave room for a lot of creative play, and it doesn't leave room for them to keep their toys out. For example, when they go to bed at night, I want everything put away in their room, but if they play until bedtime and they want to wake up and keep playing, that's frustrating because then they have to put it all away and then bring it all out. And so for now, I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna just allow them to be as creative as they want, and on Wednesdays and Sundays, or just 2 days a week, we will do a big cleanup of the room, but except for that, I will just try to, keep my mouth shut and just let it be their place. It's besides the washer and the dryer, I don't even need to be in there. So anyway, I hope that gave you guys some inspiration. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you guys have like a great way that you store your toys or house rules on toys or anything like that, let me know below what that is. I'm always looking for some new ideas. Bye guys.